So upcoming book describes how Trump was telling the military and law enforcement to murder civil rights protesters. I understand that for a lot of people, that's not gonna be super shocking. For others, Trump fans, first of all, they're gonna say that it's not true because it's just multiple sources, which has never stopped them from believing things in the past. And also, let's bear in mind, they don't care because they also support it. But the fact that it was behind closed doors, it's not 100% true that it was just there. I want to remind people of an incident that happened last year that some people might have forgotten about. And it involved a man named Michael Reinoehl. So he had been suspected of murdering a Trump supporter at one of these protests and then had fled the scene. And so people were trying to find him. And I want to remind you of what happened when they did. So on September 3rd, about 120 miles north of Portland, Mr. Reinoehl was getting into his Volkswagen station wagon when a pair of unmarked sport utility vehicles roared through the quiet streets, screeched to a halt just in front of his bumper. Members of a US Marshals task force jumped out and unleashed a hail of bullets that shattered windows, whizzed past bystanders, and left him dead in the street. Attorney General William Barr trumpeted the operation as a significant accomplishment that removed a violent agitator. The officers had opened fire, he said, when Mr. Reinoehl attempted to escape arrest and produced a firearm during the encounter. There's a bit of an issue with that though, and that's that in interviews with 22 people who were near the scene, all but one said they didn't hear officers identify themselves or give any commands before opening fire. One, Mr. Lewis, said there was no get out of the car, there was no stop, there was no nothing. They just got out of the car and started shooting. Mr. Smith said there was no yelling, there was no screaming, there was no altercation. It was just straight to gunshots. 5 eyewitnesses said in interviews that the gunfire began the instant the vehicles arrived. None of them saw Michael Reinoehl holding a weapon. A single shell casing of the same caliber as the handgun he was carrying was found inside the car, although an investigation couldn't show whether it had been fired that day or not. And it seems like a moot point because the gun that he had on him had a full clip at the time that he died. It was full afterward. He hadn't fired any shots. And so how did Donald Trump respond to this? To give you an idea of his thought process, we don't have to go behind closed doors. He said in this case, this guy was a violent criminal and the US Marshals killed him. And I will tell you something, that's the way it has to be. There has to be retribution when you have crime like this. Not justice or anything like that. No taking him alive like you would with like a white terrorist or something like that. There needs to be retribution. You pull up, you immediately begin firing and you kill him. And that's what they did.
And he was white, right? I mean, you're saying like an actual white supremacist terrorist.
Believed to be a leftist.
Exactly, and which is why he was executed, just completely executed, like Saudi Arabia style execution, no justice, no day in court, no nothing, not even charged, not even no apprehended, no Burger King, you know, because he didn't kill 9 black parishioners, right? He killed a Trump supporter. Not a police officer, not a US Marshal. Oh no, because he's not a boogaloo boy, right? Has that guy been executed? No. It's only because he killed a Trump supporter. And yes, it's bad. No one is condoning that, but the guy deserved his day in court. And it's chilling. It's Duterte chilling.
Yeah,
and I'm glad that you. I'm really glad that you that you read us all of that, and that we really need to remember Reinoehl's case every single day.
Yeah, and it's not a defense. I don't know this person, and if they did do the thing that they're suspected or alleged to have done, then they should have spent the rest of their life in jail. But he didn't, and Trump didn't say, you know what, this guy was a suspected violent criminal, and one way or another, we had to stop him from hurting other people. No, he said, this is how it should be. They didn't make a mistake. It's not regrettable that they didn't bring him in. I want you to gun them down in the streets. That's what he said. That's who he is. He defended it later on. I'm not gonna read more of the quotes, but he considered this to be a great thing. It became an applause line at his rallies, saying, no, we should be killing these people where they stand. For more political news breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.